Why is nobody talking about the only man that single-handedly terrorized Aba in Abia State for years? Osisi Ka Nkwu. This man held Aba hostage with fear. Between 2007 and 2010, Aba, the commercial heartbeat of Abia State, became a city of fear. Businesses shut down, families fled, and those who remained lived in constant terror. The name on everyone's lips was Osisi Ka Nkwu, a man whose very mention sent shivers down the spine. Osisi Ka Nkwu, born Obioma Nwankwo, was not just a criminal. He was a nightmare. From Aba to Obibo in Rivers State, he and his gang of over 3,000 men turned kidnapping into a full-scale industry. His targets were the rich, the powerful, expatriates, government officials, and sometimes ordinary people who just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time. Aba became a ghost town. For those who lived in Aba during this period, it was like a war zone. Fear ruled the city. People abandoned their homes, choosing to sleep in churches rather than risk being kidnapped in their own beds. Entire neighborhoods were deserted. Ariara Junction, Umuozu, Obeyi, Asa, Haloji, St. Mary's Catholic Church area, Orata, and so many more. People packed their bags and ran. Kidnapping became a daily occurrence. One of the most heartbreaking stories was that of Chijioke Igodo, a well-known businessman in Ariaria. When Osisi Ka Nkwu's men came for his older brother Tochukwu Igodo, who had just returned from the hospital after surgery, Chijioke made a painful choice. He volunteered to go in his place. His family eventually secured his release, but many others were not as lucky. Osisi Ka Nkwu's terror was not limited to Aba. His gang kidnapped 3 British nationals and a Colombian engineer from Shells. Ransoms were paid, they were released, but the fear lingered. In 2010 alone, he kidnapped 2 Germans, 3 Chinese nationals, and 9 Nigerian workers at the Nigeria Steel Company. He also abducted Mrs. Victoria Ori, the wife of a wealthy Ohofia businessman, and 3 journalists traveling through Aba after a Nigerian Union of Journalists meeting. A ransom of 30 million naira was paid before they were released. Then came the worst attack. August 24, 2010, Osisi Ka Nkwu's gang, led by a thug called Okwute Stone, raided 5 banks in the Osisioma area of Aba. Every police officer and security guard on duty were unalived. Religious leaders were not spared. They kidnapped senior pastors and priests. But the most shocking event came on September 27, 2010. The kidnapping of 15 school kids from Abayi International School in Aba. That was when the entire country eventually noticed them. At the height of his terror, Osisi Ka Nkwu gave an unintentional interview to a journalist. He claimed that his actions were fueled by the marginalization of Ngwa land, the largest ethnic group in Abia State. He said Pupu Ngwa had been abandoned, and his violence was a way of drawing attention to their suffering. He even claimed he would surrender if the government was willing to rehabilitate him. But then, it was too late. The world had already seen his true nature. The kidnapping of the school kids was the final straw. President Goodluck Jonathan ordered the Joint Military Task Force (JTF) to hunt him down. After weeks of intense manhunt, soldiers tracked him to the Ugwuati Evil Forest, his deadly hideout. The battle was fierce, but when the dust settled, Osisi Ka Nkwu was dead. His gang scattered. His girlfriend Ogoji was arrested, and a massive number of weapons were seized. Aba could finally breathe again. When the news broke that Osisi Ka Nkwu had been unalived, Aba erupted in celebration. Businesses reopened, families returned, and life slowly went back to normal. The fear that had gripped the city for years began to fade. But for those who lived through the dark days, the scars remain. The memories of loved ones lost, businesses destroyed, and lives shattered will never be forgotten. Were you in Aba during Osisi Ka Nkwu's terror? Share your story in the comments.